are you guys? I hope that everybody is well. This is going to be our step-by-step tutorial for how to do our Grinch painting. So in the kit that you guys got, you got a foam brush and then 2 just regular bristle brushes. You should have gotten the Grinch picture that we're going to be doing, a traceable, and then your canvas. And then you will also have gotten 9 colors, I believe. 8. You'll have a white, a yellow green, a green, a black, an aqua or sky blue color, a red, a purple, a blue, and a yellow. And then you will have gotten a paper plate. This is where we are going to mix our colors. And then from home, you will need a couple pencils, a cup of water, a couple paper towels, and then scissors. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to trace our Grinch onto our paper. And I'm going to show you guys as what my son would call, he calls it a life hack of how to do this without tracing paper. So the first thing that we're going to do is you guys have this little dotted line around our traceable, and we are just going to cut that off. Okay. And the reason that I'm doing this in a video, not like a live or a Zoom, is because I want you guys to be able to pause it if I'm going too fast, or go ahead if I'm going too slow, so you guys can kind of do it at your own pace. You can rewatch it if you need to rewatch it. And I feel like that's a little more relaxing than being on a Zoom class and having everybody be like, Miss Ash, you're going too fast, Miss Ash, you're going too slow. Okay, so cut that one out. And then we're going to do this one. I love The Grinch. It's one of my favorite movies. My kids love The Grinch. So I'm really excited to be painting The Grinch. Okay. So now that we've cut all of this off, the next thing that we are going to do is, I'm going to move my canvas so I don't get, we're going to turn it over. And when you turn over the sheet, we're going to get our pencil. What I'm going to do is I am just going to take my pencil and I am going to start, I guess, basically coloring over the design on the other side. Okay, so when I hold it up, I can see through the paper, and you guys probably can't see this, but on the other side there's like pencil here, and you're gonna kind of want to make it close together. And I'm gonna do this all over the back of my Grinch painting. Traceable, I guess, not a painting, it's a traceable. So I'm gonna look and I'm gonna say, okay, I have a little bit of a hat over here. So what this does is when I put this down on my canvas, I'm going to put it with this pencil part down, and then I'm going to, on the other side, I'm just gonna trace over the lines with a pencil or a pen, and that's gonna leave the marks of whatever I trace over onto my canvas. Genius, right? My son calls it a life hack. He's obsessed with life hacks. He's like 6 years old, and he's always watching YouTube videos, and he comes out and he'll say, Mom, I just learned a new life hack, let's try it. So we're always trying new life hacks. He really likes the one where the guy's like eating the spaghetti and he cuts it with the scissors, like the excess, he cuts it off with the scissors. My son just thinks that that one is so cool. So see, so now I have my pencil all over the back. If I hold it up to the light, I can see through that I have pencil everywhere that my lines are. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my tree. I'm going to sharpen my pencil, so don't mind this noise. Sorry about that. And so I'm going to do the same thing with my tree on the back side of that. Okay. All right. And this is a really good little life hack to do if you are wanting to paint something and you have a traceable but you don't have any tracing paper. I did have tracing paper that I could have given you guys, but the problem with it is that I did a video with it on another painting I was doing, and what happened is when I was tracing where my arm was resting, it was leaving black splotches on my canvas, and I did not like that. So, and then they don't come up because it's like a kind of chemical in the paper, and so I just had these random splotches all over my canvas, and it was disgusting. I didn't like it, you guys. I just didn't like it. So I didn't want that to happen to you, so I just decided to use this little life hack that I was using way back when I was a little kid. So make do with the things that you have. This one's got kind of a lot of stuff to trace, so it's going to be a lot of pencil. Okay. All right. This is the boring part. This isn't the fun part. If you have tracing paper at home, use the tracing paper. Okay? I'm not against tracing paper. It's just the stuff we had was kind of, ugh, it was yucky. And I didn't want you to do that. I didn't want you guys to have yucky. Okay, so now I'm done with both. So I'm going to grab my canvas, and we are going to go ahead and put this on our canvas. Okay, and what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you line up his head and stuff. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit more because my Grinch's arms weren't fitting. Okay. So see, I lined his arm up here at the edge of my canvas, and then I lined the bottom of my paper at the bottom of my canvas. And then what I'm going to do is when I've done that first one, I'm just going to put a piece of tape up here. And then I'm going to line up my second one. Okay. And I'm going to get a piece of tape, and I'm going to tape it up here at the top. And then I'm going to tape it up on the top of my canvas here. Okay, so now we are at this part. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to, and you too, when you're following along, we are going to take our pencil and we are going to trace over all of the lines in our picture. So we're going to trace the whole tree, our little ornaments. My kids, when we do this, I have them use a red pen so that they can see where they've traced. But if you don't think that you need to do that, don't do that. But if you feel like you're going to miss a lot of the lines, then by all means use that red or blue pen. So I want to show you, when I lift it up, it's traced. Okay? So we're going to trace everything, and I just kind of start on one side and go to the other side. Kind of keeps me intact. Okay. I wish there was like ways that you could just buy canvases that were ready to paint. Like it already had a design on it and then you just painted it. I guess if I was super awesome, I could have done this for you guys, but that would have been a lot of tracing. And I don't know if Miss Ash could have handled that. All right, so tracing our tree. Make sure you've traced all your ornaments. Make sure you've traced all of the lines inside. All right, and if you're not sure, lift it up, kind of view. Oh, it looks the same, perfect. And then we'll be down here, we'll start with our Grinch arm. Okay, all right. Did I do his little hand? I did. Okay. All right. And then his little cuff here. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna go over here and do his hand over here so I don't forget. All right, and then we'll do his little face area. Cute. Okay, guys. I love painting. I really do. It's so relaxing. And I gave you guys enough paint that you guys could probably do more than one of these. If you have extra canvases, I know a lot of you like paint at home. But if you don't and you want to do extra paint, they have at the dollar store, they have canvases for $1. And they're just these flat ones like this. And I buy them all the time when I have a little bit of extra money for my kids. And then when we do paint, they paint on those. And they're good canvases. And then I hang them on the walls, like with command strips. And they're always so excited to see their art on the walls. Okay, do his little eyes, his little eyelashes. Okay, cool. And then we just have his hat left. And the hat kind of cuts off here, but we'll just finish it when we're done tracing. We'll be able to bring those 2 points together. Okay, and then before you take it off, just kind of look to make sure like you didn't forget his face or anything like that. All right, so that looks good. So I'm gonna take this part off. We don't need that anymore. And I'm just going to kind of connect these 2 lines on his hat to make them look a little better. All right, awesome. That step is done. So the next thing that we are going to do, sorry, I'm gonna need to, is we're gonna start painting. We are going to do this Grinch in probably about 10 steps. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the background, and then we are going to paint his face and the tree. And then we are going to paint his hat, his shirt down here, and his ornament. And then we will add his face, and we'll do his eyes, his mouth, his nose, and then we will add our decorations to our tree. Okay, so that's kind of how we're gonna do it. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to do the background. And so what you're gonna want is you're gonna want your paper plate, and we are going to get that aqua color that I gave you guys. It's gonna be the kind of lighter sky blue. And then you're gonna want a little bit of white on your canvas. And what we're gonna do is we are going to double load our brush. So in painting, loading means you're just putting paint on your brush. Double loading means you're basically putting two different colors on your brush. And we're going to do that because it's going to give us a little bit more variation in our sky. And so what I'm going to do is the first thing to load, I'm going to put some of this blue on here, and then I'm going to dip it in the white. So I have blue and I have white on my brush now, and you can see the blue and the white. And so when I go in on my sky, we're going to paint everything back here in the sky. I'm going to get like different tones. So my sky is not going to be completely all just one blue color, okay? So you are going to paint all of the areas around the Grinch with that blue. And so if you want your blue to be a little bit lighter, what you would do is you would do white first, and then you would barely dip it in the blue. And I'll show you. See how that makes it much, much lighter? So if you want it lighter, the more that you would do is you would do more white and just a smidgen of blue, okay? And then you're just gonna do, see how I'm like flicking my wrist? You're just gonna paint all around his hat, his body, and the tree. And so I gave you guys kind of a medium-sized brush. For the bigger areas, you can use this spongy brush, and that'll get more done. And then for these smaller areas, you can use the smaller brushes. It just depends on what you guys feel comfortable using. So that's why I gave you guys kind of more than one brush. Okay, and you want it to be kind of like, you want to be able to see the brush strokes that you guys are doing, because that's going to give it some texture. And I know when you guys look in the sky, it's not always just one texture, it's not always just one color, okay? And if you go a little bit over the lines of like his hat and stuff, that's okay, because we're gonna paint those anyways, and so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is the part that's gonna take us the longest, and so I kind of like how it looks when it's like lighter down at the bottom. So we get in his little arm here. Okay. And if you need to, switch out the brushes. That's why we have water and paper towels, so we can clean our brushes off and use them as much as we want. If you want to get it really, really precise in these little areas, that would be perfect. You also have the picture, which is like the reference part, so you can kind of be able to see where there's spots of sky, okay? And so like this part right here is just like a little part I'm gonna do, because this is gonna be the tree. That's like a tree part under his arm, so I'm just gonna paint that little spot. There we go. All right, and then I'm gonna finish up over here. There we go. And remember, it doesn't have to be all the same color. It's gonna give it a lot of variation and texture if you keep dipping it. Okay, so remember, I want my sky lighter. You guys might want yours brighter. So if you want it darker, you're doing blue and then you're dipping in the white. Otherwise, it's white, and then you're dipping in the blue. Okay? All right, perfect. Sorry, that's my phone. I don't ever remember to turn it off. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, perfect. And like I said, the sky is going to be the part that takes the longest, and so I'm just basically talking to fill time. So if you want to just stop the video, finish the sky, and then move on, play it, fast forward it to the next part, which is going to be our face, then that's probably what I would do if I were you. So you don't have to listen to me talk about weird things. Okay. All right. Remember, if you kind of get it over the little parts that are not supposed to be sky, that's perfectly okay. Okay. And you can do like lighter down at the bottom, darker at the top if you want. You can try to make it all kind of one variation. It's up to you. Okay. So for the time of purpose, the purpose of time. Does that sound right? The purpose of time. I'm going to start using my bigger brush here on some of this bigger spots. And remember, it's awesome if you can see the brush strokes because it gives it texture, and things in nature have texture. Okay? All right. So we got that half done. We only have another half done. You guys are doing great. All right. And I'm really excited that so many of you came and got these. When Miss Kelly told me that we could do it, or Miss Cryansick, I'm sorry, told me that we could do it, I didn't think that very many people were gonna partake, but I'm so glad that they did, because I really, really miss teaching art in class. And so it kind of really makes me happy. All right, so I'm gonna use my smaller brush again because I'm getting in this small areas. And if you guys need more paint out of the onto your palette, just go ahead and pour some more paint on there. It shouldn't take a lot, so you shouldn't use all of your white or all of your blue for this. It should just be a little bit, because a little bit goes a long ways. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Where am I at here? Ooh, now I'm getting into the nitty-gritty of it here. Okay. Here we go. So on these little spots, I would probably use your smaller brush. And so instead of doing it the fat way, I would do it like the thin line way. So then you can get into those little creases and kind of keep the tree pointy. Again, if you go over the lines, that's okay because we're gonna paint the tree green. And so it really doesn't matter. Okay. All right, we're getting there, guys. Okay, down here. All right. And so if you're not sure where there's gonna be blue showing, or you got a little wonky with your tracing and you're just not sure, just look at the picture that I gave you guys in there with it, and you can kind of go off of that also. And if you paint over something that's supposed to be like green or red or something, it doesn't matter. Paint over it, it'll be fine. Don't be hard on yourself, you guys. This is just art, and it's supposed to be fun And honestly, it's supposed to be unique. It's supposed to be yours. And so if yours doesn't look anything like mine at the end, that makes me so happy, because give it your own unique personality. You know, maybe you don't want your sky to be blue. Maybe you want to make it like a cool hazy pink, or maybe you want it to be like if the sun is setting, and so you're using like yellows and reds. That is fine. Do what you guys want to do. This is just to kind of guide people that don't really know or really like the picture and they want to do it the way that the picture shows. But this is not by means like, this is the way that you have to do it. Okay, we're not about that here. We're about having fun. Okay. Doing the best we can. And, you know, sometimes we have to wing it. I can't tell you, so let me tell you, okay? Miss Kelly said I could do this, the different art projects for you guys, and I was so excited. And so I did 4 different ones. I did one for the kindergartners through the 2nd graders, then I did 3rd through 5th graders, then I did 6th through 8th graders, and then I did a high school one. Well, you know, of course I had to get all the supplies and stuff ready for everything. First I had to decide what they were going to do, and there was so much stuff that I wanted to do that I was like, that was like really hard. And then I had to get all the supplies ready. Okay, so did that. That was pretty easy. And then I had to make videos for each of these. And let me tell you what I've been going through with these videos. I've probably made 10 videos for 4 art projects, because a couple times I did it, my phone died in the middle. So then I had to like start all over, because the painting, like I didn't know when the phone died, and I just like went on painting and I had no idea that my phone was dead, and so I was just like painting to nobody here, talking to myself. One time I accidentally put it on slow-mo, and so it was like absolute chaos in the slow-mo. So, and then another time I was doing it and I hadn't even started the video. So like I got done and I was like, oh man, that was so good. Like I was really funny and I was like doing really good and we made good time. And then I like went to watch the video to be like, look at how funny I was. Look at how awesome I am at doing art videos. And I hadn't even pushed play. So there was no video. So that was really awesome. So listen, you guys, what happens? All right. We are done with our sky. You guys did fantastic. I love what you guys did here. So the next step that we are going to do is we're going to do our green face and our tree. Sorry, I have to send a message here. Because even though I'm doing art, I still have to try to work too. So, all right, here we go. So now we are going to do our tree and our face. That's going to be our next step. So we are going to need, our green. So we're going to want to do a little bit of our yellow green and then a little bit of our dark green. So sorry about that noise. That was the paint, not me. Oh, Miss Ash, you're so funny. Yeah, you guys can tell me. I'm so funny. I know. You guys could give me some like great reviews on my video. Like tell Miss Kelly how funny I am on my videos. And then she'll just let me do art for every day the rest of the year. Okay, so you are going to want to get a little bit of this light color green that you had and a little bit of this dark color green that you have. I'm not sure. I know that's maybe a couple of kits got sent out without this light color green. And if that's the case, I'm gonna show you what to do. You are going to take, so if you didn't get the light green, I'm not sure how it happened, and I'm not even sure if it was this kit or the high school kit, but if you didn't get the light green, you're going to take some of your dark green that you got, and then you should have gotten yellow, and so you're gonna take a little bit of your yellow, and you're gonna mix those together, and you're gonna wanna do more yellow than green. And that's gonna give you like a lighter green color. And then what you would do is take a little bit of white and put that white in there. And that's gonna give you like the green. So if you did not get the light green color, I think there might have been two, because I found two light green things sitting on my table in there. You're going to mix a little bit of dark green with a little bit of yellow with a little bit of white, and that's going to give you the light green, okay? Sorry about that. I don't know how I missed it. I'm a human and I make mistakes, okay? I apologize. So we've got our yellow green and we've got our green, and we are going to, again, double load our light green, right? And then our dark green, okay? So I've got some dark green on here and I've got some light green on here. And we are going to go in and we're just gonna paint, you paint over the eyes, just paint this whole thing in. So the only thing you're not gonna paint in is this like big eye circle, okay? You can paint in the nose, you can paint in everything else, because we're gonna go over that with a dark color, okay? So again, you're gonna do your light green and then double load it with your dark green. And we're just gonna go ahead and paint our face in, okay? So dark green, light green, use your small brush, use your big brush, whatever you prefer. Okay. And then remember, just don't do the ovals, because those are going to be yellow, and if we paint those green, we're never going to get any yellow on the top of them. So that's the only thing that you're not going to want to paint over on this, okay? There we go. All right. You can paint over the eyebrows. Remember, for some reason you paint outside of the line, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to paint over it with other colors and stuff, okay? All right, so I've got my dark green and I've got my light green, and I'm just double loading those on, and that just gives me just a different texture. If you don't want your Grinch to be like that and you want to use just the yellow green to paint your Grinch, use the yellow green to paint your Grinch. That is perfect too. It's up to you, okay? Okay, so then go in here, and I'm gonna be a little careful. Okay, paint over my eyelids. There we go. Okay, and then these little whooshies here that we have, his little stray hairs, I'm just gonna use, instead of flat like this, I'm gonna use sideways, and I'm gonna kind of go down and make them look whooshy when I color them in, so that they're not like perfect, because it's hair, right? And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Get my wishes. Okay. There we go. And remember, you don't have to make your brush strokes go all the same way. Okay? He's hairy. Hair doesn't always go all the same way. Okay, it's texture. Stuff in real life has texture. Okay, so there's our Grinch face. Now, the part that we're going to do next is we're going to add a little bit of like, I guess you could say, like dark hair type things. And so all you're going to do with that is you're going to dip it lightly into your dark green and then get a lot of it off. And then we're just going to do little dark lines in like his hairs here. Okay. And then I'm going to do some along the side of his face here. And all that does is just gives him a little bit of depth. Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right, guys, you're doing so good. Okay. Same thing. We're going to paint our tree. What I'm going to do with the tree, you're going to use the same colors. We're going to use the light green, and then we're going to use the darker green, and we're going to, down here at the bottom, I'm going to use just the lightest green. And then as we go up, we'll start doing like the, and so with this, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna want to make like brush strokes, okay? And it's okay to cover over your ornaments. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start here and I'm just going to brush stroke, okay? I'm just gonna stroke. And I'm gonna do some to the left, and I'm gonna do some to the right. Okay, and it's just small strokes. Okay, that's going to give us that kind of tree look. Okay, and what you want to do is you want them to, I'm turning mine upside down, so you want them to go out one way and out the other way, out one way and out the other way. Okay. And so now I'm gonna load my dark green and my light green, double load, right? So I have both colors on my tree, and I'm just going, I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna just start going out, okay? So see how I'm just doing like little like, and I'm kind of, when I do it, I flick it, okay? And then when I get close to the edge, I'm just filling that in with just that like flicking motion, okay? And then what you're gonna wanna do as you're doing that, see how it's all kind of one color? Now what I did is I just put dark green, and I'm just gonna come in and add some strokes of just dark green, okay? That's gonna give my tree texture, okay? Then the next time I go in, I'm gonna load, double load again. I'm gonna put both colors on my tree now, okay? And I'm just gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna flick it out, and I'm gonna flick it out, okay? And then when I get into these little pieces here, I just turn my brush on the side, okay? And then sometimes just add the dark green and do some sections with just the dark green on your brush. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do that all the way up to the top. All the way up to the top, guys. Remember, if you go over the ornaments, that's okay. We're going to paint those back in. Okay. All right. Look at that. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Okay. Okay. Now I'm up here, and so I'm going to tilt my thing so that I'm still getting the whooshies, but they're going in the way that a tree would. Okay. All right. So in the ends don't need to be perfect because it's a tree. All right. So here's my tree. Now, what I'm going to do is you can see that there is some texture, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take I'm going to do some black, a little itty bitty bit of black. Ooh, that was way too much. And then I'm going to mix it with some of my green, my darker green. So I'm going to take a little bit of my darker green here, and I'm just going to take a smidgen of black, and I'm going to make this like darker green color. Okay. Then I'm going to wipe off the extra, and I'm going to get just a little bit of that. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some more random tree strokes. Okay. So see how that is giving me it's giving me depth, it's giving me texture on my tree. It's making it look like, oh man, look at these cool branches. Okay. Awesome. Awesome, you guys. And I'm going to do that up and I'm going to do that down. So I'm going to do a little bit up here. Okay. And if you want your tree to be fuller, by all means come in and make it fuller. But give it that like extra dark highlights. Okay. All right. How's that looking, guys? We have a tree. Everybody, we have a tree. All right. Next color. Add a little dark there. Okay. Next color that we're going to do is we're going to use red to do our hat and our Santa suit. Well, our Grinch suit. He's not in a Santa suit, but he's trying to pretend like he's in a Santa suit, isn't he? Okay, so we are going to do just red. So you're going to want just the red. We're not going to mix it with anything. So we're just going to have red. Okay. And with the red, we're going to paint in this top part of our hat here. Okay. And we're gonna do the ornament that's hanging off of our tree. And we're gonna do his shirt down here. His fake Santa suit. He tried to steal Christmas. My son always watches this show and he always feels so bad for the Grinch at the beginning because he's like, if he just had friends, Mom, he wouldn't have tried to steal Christmas. And so he gets really upset and like says that the Grinch isn't the bad guy. It's all the people that wouldn't be his friends. So he's 6. Kind of proud that he thinks that everybody should have been the Grinch's friends. All right. So, painting in the hat. And sorry, I'm going to tilt this way a little bit so I can get better lines on here. There we go. All right. And then this, oops, sorry guys, this pointy part here is still gonna be, we're gonna paint it in white, so don't paint that part in red. Unless you want to. If you want your entire Santa hat to be red, then by all means paint that part in red. Okay, who am I to tell you what to do? This is your painting, guys. Okay. All right. Very good. Perfect. You guys are doing good. Remember, if I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow, speed up, slow down, pause, start, move on. That's why I like to do videos instead of like live Zoom classes, because I don't want people to feel like they're falling behind or anything like that. Okay, so then we're going to do his arms. Remember, this part right here is going to be white for a Santa suit. So again, don't paint that part unless of course you want to. It's up to you. Don't let me tell you what to do. Okay. This is your painting. I want you guys to do whatever you see fit. Okay? All right. We never used to do this in school. We would never paint. We would, like when I was in like 5th grade, and this is gonna tell you how old Miss Ash is. It was like 20 years ago. If any of you laughed right now, man. But we would do around Christmas time, our teachers would, we would always do a craft for our parents, and it was always something like making like ornaments out of popsicle sticks, or we'd do like something in art class. We would work with clay, so we'd make like, you know, a candy dish for our parents or something like that. But we never did any like paintings like this. So I'm really, 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 really glad that our school affords us the art supplies and the time to be able to do projects like painting. I think that that is absolutely amazing. You know, in my school we had art class, but a lot of the stuff we did was like we learned about the color wheel, and then, you know, we'd have to color in a color wheel, and it was all graded, and it just didn't seem fun because it was for a grade, and, you know, if you didn't do the way that the teacher wanted you to do it, then you didn't get a good grade because you didn't follow directions. And I never liked that because I kind of wanted to be able to express my creativity. And sometimes I didn't feel like I could in art. And so I really like that our art classes are, you know, the rules still apply, but we kind of get to do fun stuff, and we get to decide what we want to do. And I try to do stuff, you know, get suggestions from all of the students. So if you ever have any awesome art thing you want to do, let me know. Because we have cool bosses, and they'll let us do it within reason, of course. Okay? All right. So there we go. What happened here? I don't know. I'm going to fill that in with red. I missed that whole section. Okay. So now once you've painted in your arm, you can kind of see if there's any like weird, I guess, non-white spots that you missed, and you can either paint those red or you can go back and do them green and make it look like your tree. So see, I've got this little white spot, and then I have a green spot here that's like out of nowhere. So what I want to do is I want to fill that in with the green because it is supposed to look like there's a tree there. So I'm just going to come in and kind of add some paint so it looks like the tree goes by his arm. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Where I could have filled it in with the white. It's whatever you choose to do. Okay, so we have got our Santa outfit on our Grinch here painted, and we have our Santa hat on our Grinch painted, and now we are going to paint our ornament red. Up here, I'm going to turn mine. Very good. Okay. If you don't want it red, if you want your ornament to be like blue or yellow or whatever other color you have, please make it blue or yellow or whatever color you want your ornament, okay? All right. Cool. Okay. Our ornament, our Grinch arm, our Grinch hat, painted, painted, painted. Very cool. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to add our yellow eyes in on our Grinch. And so I am going to use my smaller brush for that. And we are going to do that with yellow. So we're just going to take straight yellow, and we are going to paint in all of this part right here that we didn't paint green. Okay. And again, if it goes kind of into the green, that's okay because we're gonna outline his eyes in black. And then also be careful if you tilt your canvas this way and then you stick your head in this red paint, that you don't like stick it down on your canvas on your blue or something, and then you'll have paint everywhere. Okay? Okay. So, which I've done, I don't know how many times. Okay. So there is our yellow eyes. Perfect. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Cool. Okay, now we are going to do we're going to do some white circles on the trees for our base of our ornaments. And then we're going to do some highlights above the eyes and a little highlight on our Santa hat and our Grinch arm. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, I'm going to use my small brush again. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean that off. And we're going to get some whites. Oh no! I literally just squirted white paint all over myself. Oh no. And I have green paint on my shirt now. That is so awesome. Okay. All right. Here we go. Paint. I need some white paint. All right. So we're going to take our white paint and we are going to add some ornaments. And you are going to do this wherever you want. This is just going to be the base. And so I'm just going to do a white circle. And I'm going to kind of do that just anywhere you really want. I know this one over here, we're going to definitely do white. And this one that we didn't have is going to be white. And this one over here. Okay, so we know we have those. And then I'm going to do one down here. Okay, and it doesn't have to be real full white. Because we're going to paint over these like blue and green and purple. Okay, and then I'm going to do a couple up here. Okay, and I'm going to do one right here. Okay, and the only reason we're doing that is so that when we add the color over it, it's going to pop a little bit better. And it won't be so mucked because of the green paint underneath. Okay, I'll do one up here. All right. That looks good to me. I think I'm going to do one right here. Okay, perfect. So there are our ornaments. Now we're going to use the same white brush. We're going to take some white paint and we are going to just do a little highlight on our ornament. I'm just going to make a little C there, and then I'm going to kind of fill it in. Okay. So it's just gonna be kind of like a C. Okay. And so I just made a really amateur mistake. I didn't let this ornament dry. And so now my white mixed with my red, and it's gonna make it like pinkish. So I'm gonna let that dry and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do that again in a minute. But I'm gonna add like a little highlight right here on my Santa hat. Okay, just like that. And then you're also going to want to do one kind of up here on the folded part. And what you're going to do on that is I would just wipe off all of the paint so you just have a little itty bitty bit. And then you're just going to take your brush and add some. And then wipe your brush off completely with your towel and then kind of like feather this out. Okay? Like just kind of brush it. And that's gonna make it look like a highlight. Okay? All right. Okay. Then we're gonna do the same thing on his arms here. Make sure that it's dry, so if you touch it and it's not tacky, it should be fine. We're just gonna take very, very little white paint and kind of blend it into his arm on this side. And then we're gonna do the same thing over on this side. I'm just gonna blend it in, okay? And then once I've done that, then just kind of blend it out and down. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So now the next thing that we're gonna do is we want to paint the Grinch's nose and his pupils. So we're gonna do these little half squares. We're gonna use red. And I'm going to use my small brush. And I'm going in. Perfect. And then this side. Okay. Perfect. All right. And then we're gonna do the Grinch's nose. And I'm just going to, for his nose, I'm gonna use dark green. So I'm just gonna use my dark green. And I'm just gonna come in here. And so see, it's not gonna be like a whole lot darker than his face, but you're gonna be able to tell that he has a nose. And that's kind of what we want. We don't want it to be like super different, right? Okay. There's his nose. Awesome. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to do his, our black outlines. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna get black. We're gonna use black. Okay. And we are going to do his eye, like the top of his eyes here. Okay. And then you're going to do his little eyelashes. Okay. And then you're gonna outline around and wait until the yellow part has dried. Make sure just the yellow part is dried. And then you're gonna outline his eyes. Okay, and then you're gonna do the other outline on the other eye. Okay. So then do your other eye. Hey, don't come pick me up till I call you. Oh yeah, okay, thanks, bye. Oh my goodness, you guys. I've been sharing my car with my husband because the truck broke down and it's getting fixed, and I forgot that I had the car today. And usually he has to come pick me up. But I was like, I have to finish this painting. Okay, so then we're gonna color in this part. I'm gonna make his eyebrows, whatever these things are, kind of thick. Okay, and eyelash, perfect. Okay, Now next we're gonna do like a little outline on his nose. And I'm not gonna go all the way around his nose. I'm gonna kind of let my paint like run out like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna do his wickedly awesome smile. And you should still be able to see your pencil lines. And so I'm just gonna trace those with my black paint. And I'm just using the tip, like the side. Okay. Grin. And here's his other grin. Perfect. Okay. And then we're gonna do this side. Okay. And then I've got to do his little like line down the middle here. Oh my goodness, you guys. We just painted a Grinch. Okay. Then I'm gonna add some like kind of black lines in my tree. We're not gonna do too many. Just want a few. It's just gonna give it a little bit more of that texture that we like. Okay, here's a couple. Then I'm gonna do a couple up here, and then I'm gonna do some down here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do some out here, and I'm gonna do one here, and do one here. All right, do a couple down here that we need. All right, that's plenty. Okay, very good. All right, awesome. So now I'm going to add a little bit of like the same like kind of like texture lines here. So I'm gonna do one out here, and I'm gonna kind of just outline his hair area. Okay. And then over here I'm gonna do just little black. All right. And now see my nose. I didn't color it in good enough all the way, so I'm just gonna go back and kind of color up to that black line I did. Okay, just so that it doesn't look weird. There we go. All right, we're getting there, you guys. We only have a couple of more steps. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is paint our extra part here and our little hat here. We are going to do that part white. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, you guys? I'm sorry. I forgot to do the inside of his, like around his pupils here. So we've got to do around his pupils. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. There we go. Now I've got it. Make his lashes a little longer. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to now go in and we're going to paint the hat part, the collar part, the part by his hands, and then our little thing up here, we're going to paint that all white. And then we're going to go back with our black and kind of outline it a little bit. So I'm going to start with this guy up here. And I know, I mean, if you want to leave it just blank and it's the canvas through it, then that's fine. But you'll be able to tell, like, that there's white in here. Like a white fleck on there somewhere. How? Okay. All right. Okay. And then we're gonna do this part down here. His little collar. Very good. All right. And then we'll have to do the edge of his hat. And then once we're done with that part, we'll go back in with our black again and we'll just kind of outline some of this. Okay. All right, it's almost done with this part. Okay. All right, and now we are going to do the part of his hat up here. Get some white paint. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see if I can not spill it on myself again. Sorry, it's not. I gotta slam it. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're cooking. Okay, does your parents say stuff like that? Now we're cooking. It's just a me thing. Okay. Perfect. All right, get our white here. Okay. All right, awesome. Last little parts. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna go back in with our black again, and highlight some of these areas that we have. So I'm just gonna get some black on, and I am going to outline, first I'm gonna start where it's red because I don't wanna mix it with my white because it'll make it like gray. And so I'm gonna outline his arm here. Okay. And then we'll do his little elbow crease here. Down here. Under his arm. Right here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm gonna do this part here. Okay. And then I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna make this kind of come in a little bit. Oh, and you guys know what I forgot to paint white? I forgot to paint his little cuffs here white. See, you guys probably remembered and I didn't. That's okay, it's an easy fix. Just go back in, paint his little cuffs there white. And this little cuff white. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, filled it in. See, that was easy peasy. Okay, and then I'm going to do his arm here. Okay, and I'm gonna do it just up a little bit like that. See, so I'm not making like straight lines. I'm just, it's kind of just adds a little bit of like texture. Okay. Then on his hat, I'm going to do this part over here. And underneath to make it like that, so to show that he has that little crease under there. And then down the side I'm gonna do, okay. And then I'm gonna do along his jawline here. And I'm gonna kind of outline this whole face part, okay. And so see, mine's not perfect and it's wiggly and it's squiggly, and that is exactly how you want it. Okay? And then I'm gonna do this side of his chin. Perfect. Okay. And then on the white part, I'm gonna just kind of do here and here. Here. Okay. Do some over here. Okay. I'm gonna do this part right here, I think. Do under here. There we go. And then I'm gonna do this side of his hat, the little hangy part on his hat. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna do a little bit up here on his hat, and I'm gonna do right by his face. Do a little up here. Do this. Right. This. Okay. And then I'm gonna do, turn this. I'm gonna do up here. Remember, we're just kind of outlining it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to go all the way across. It doesn't even have to be solid black, okay? We're just adding some cool little texture, okay? All right, and then what we're gonna do, I'm also gonna do his little arms here. I forgot about these little guys. Just gonna do one side, and then I'm gonna do that side and that side. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now the next step that we're gonna do is we are going to paint our ornaments. And I'm gonna use blue, I'm gonna use yellow, and I'm gonna use purple. You can use whatever color that you want. I just happen to like the colors that this popped up when it's like blue and purple. So we're just gonna take a little bit of our purple and over the white part that you have, you're just going to paint over. And if the white shows, that's cool. Okay? Because it gives it a little bit of highlight. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? All right. I think I'm gonna do one more purple. I'm gonna do this one down here, purple. Okay. Then I'm gonna do some blue. I think I'm gonna do this dark blue that we have. Do this one. And I'm gonna do this one up here. Okay, and I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna use that like sky blue color I have, and I'm gonna do that ornament over here. I'm gonna do this one up here, that color. Okay, and then I'm gonna do yellow. Do this one down here, yellow. Awesome. I'm gonna do one more yellow because I like how bold that color is. I'm gonna do that one out here, yellow. And then I need one more, so I'm gonna do another one, blue. Okay. Do this last one, blue. Try to make it really dark blue. Perfect. Okay. So now the next thing that we are going to do after we've painted our ornaments is we are going to give our ornaments a little bit. So we're gonna let that kind of dry a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take white and I'm gonna take it on my brush and I'm gonna use the tip of my brush and I'm just gonna do little dots all around. That's gonna be like snow falling. Okay. Put those everywhere on my canvas. Snow, little dots. They can be big, they can be small. No rhyme or reason for them. You don't have to put a lot in one spot. Put as many or as little as you want. Okay. Then once my ornaments have dried a little, I'm gonna go in with my black again, and on some of them, I'm just gonna create a little outline. Okay. Just like that. And see, I'm not really doing the whole thing. I'm not doing even right on the edge. Just kind of giving it like a little bit of character, I guess you could say. Okay, and then on some of them, I'm just gonna take a little bit of white and I'm gonna give it like a little bit of a white highlight. Okay, all right. And then the very, very, very last thing that we are going to do is you are going to want to take, so you can leave it, you can be done. This would be your done spot. Otherwise, we are going, if you don't want to and you want to add a little bit of shadow to his hat, you're going to take a lot of white with a little bit of black, and you're gonna make like a gray, a very, very, very light gray color. So it's a lot of white, a little smidgen of black. And we're just going to, I'm gonna wipe my brush off, see again, and I'm just gonna get a little itty bitty bit, and then I'm just going to kind of go in and rough it up a little. Okay? And that's all you're gonna end up doing. You're just gonna rough it up a little. Okay? See, and I'm barely using any paint. I'm gonna do that on my hat up here. I'm gonna do it just along the side here. And then once the paint is done, I'm just gonna kind of like scraggle it out. I'm gonna do a bunch right here. So before you do this part, maybe watch and see how mine turns out. You may not want that look, but it's supposed to be like, I think, sooty from him going down all the Christmas or the chimneys. Get a little on his arm there, a little on his arm. All right. There you have it. Christmas Grinch. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, you guys. Thank you so much. I hope that you had a great time. Please send me pictures. My email is M as in Melissa, F as in Frank, OULK at longvalleycs.org. I would love to see your guys' paintings. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.